Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
With your Rangers looking up at the Angels in the West standings, this series is a big one. While it's still July, a successful 3 games here will put the Rangers right back in the thick of the race. They're coming off a good series in Colorado, where the offense showed it's very much alive. Tonight, veteran Colby Lewis gets the series opening start when the Rangers beat the Los Angeles Angels next. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T Uverse TV. Well, welcome to a very pleasant evening here in Orange County, California. Angels Stadium is the venue where the Rangers begin a very important series against the Los Angeles Angels. And welcome in, everyone, along with Mark McLemore, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us for this Friday night of Ranger baseball, kicking off this weekend, which will go a long way in telling how far the Rangers can go this year in the Western Division. And Mac, as we look at the standings coming up in a minute, very important the Rangers don't get any further behind the Angels than they already are.
Yeah, it is very important. The Rangers understand it. And right now what they've got in the back of their mind, they're 8.5 games behind the Angels and 7.5 games behind the Astros. But what they've got to do is they've got to be thinking, hey, we want 3, but they've got to take it one game at a time. They can't put all 3 games into one day. They've got to take it slow and just go, that old cliche, win one ball game at a time, and hopefully they can get themselves back into this thing by the time the weekend's over with.
Well, the Rangers showed in Colorado that they can score some runs. They're going to have to against this ball club of the Angels that has had great pitching. So we'll see how that works out, and we'll also see the kind of reaction that the former Angel and now Ranger once again, Josh Hamilton, gets as he is introduced here at Angel Stadium. We'll come back to Angel Stadium right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer to kick off the summer right. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T Uverse TV. Uverse has more live TV channels on the go than cable. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. A great night here in Anaheim, California. Beautiful night for baseball or just about anything else besides snow skiing that you can think of. Before we get things underway, let's head down and check in with Jim Knox, who has joined us. Jim?
I appreciate it, Buzz. You know, the big talk today centered around Josh Hamilton, whether or not Josh will be booed on his return here to Anaheim. We asked Josh that question, does he expect to get booed?
I think, I expect it. It's funny because when I was playing with Angels, and I think when AJ would come in, Brzezinski, they would boo him. And, a couple of guys, coaches made a comment, I wish they'd stop booing him because he's killing us. So hopefully the same scenario.
Now, we do know there are a few Ranger fans in the stands tonight, like Rocky and Joey Gardner out of Dallas. They're not going to boo Josh. They're going to cheer Josh on along with the Rangers. Should be a good one, Buzz. We're going to go all around Angel Stadium and show you some of the sights and sounds. Should be a good game and also some good, extracurricular activities going on here, Buzz.
All right, Knox, thanks. Great to have you along with this stop on the trip with us. It's good to see you outside of the Metroplex. Well, we get things started tonight. Here's Mac with the Southwest Airlines Texas Rangers lineup.
All right, leading off for the Rangers, Delino DeShields will be in center field. Batting second, playing second, Rougned Odor. The DH will be Prince Fielder. He'll bat third. Adrian Beltre is the cleanup hitter. He'll play third base. Mitch Moreland's at first base, batting fifth. Josh Hamilton will be in left, batting sixth. Rougned Odor is at short. Chu is in right, and Robinson Chirinos will do the catching.
And getting things underway, Nick Tropiano deals a strike to Delino DeShields. Tropiano just called up for the second time this year to make this spot start. At least that's the way it's been termed by Mike Scioscia and company. Tropiano had a start earlier in the year. His only outing at the major league level. Fastball, changeup, slider, an occasional splitter. He has a very good sinking fastball. Not necessarily overpowering, although he brings along 95 with him just in case, and he wants to go to that. He'll pitch at 92, 93. Rangers have to make sure they don't help out Tropiano by expanding the strike zone. Make him throw strikes, especially early in the game. Get a good look at him and see if you can make quick adjustments on the fly. There's a pitch inside, and Delino DeShields doing just that. He's gotten ahead of the count now, 3 balls and a strike. Delino at 277 has been on fire. He and the man who's following him in the order, Rougned Odor, doing a great job at the top of the Ranger lineup. Now it's a full count. Rangers have had great success with Delino at the top of the order. Payoff pitch on the way from Tropiano. Line to left, that's going to be in for a base hit. Robertson over to cut it off. Going for 2, Delino DeShields. The throw is not in time. DeShields a hustling double. Well, he picked that right up where he left off in Colorado.
He did. He's just swinging the bat, setting the table for this Rangers offense. He's been doing a tremendous job, Buzz. And the more he plays, the more at-bats he gets, the more comfortable he's becoming, especially at the top of this Rangers order.
Well, that was a sinker that didn't sink.
Didn't sink, stayed up, stayed right with it, put a good swing on it, and put pressure on Daniel Robertson to come up with a play, get over there, cut it off, and then make a perfect throw. But DeShields just outran it. He was thinking 2 the whole way.
Well, DeShields, another leadoff double. He had one of those 2 games ago in Colorado. Now Rougned Odor lays down a good bunt. It's going to be a tough play. The throw just in time to get a hustling Rougned Odor. Well, Rougned almost turning that sacrifice into a base hit. DeShields on to third. He's there with 1 out. But what a play. And Odor laying down a perfect bunt.
Rugi did a tremendous job getting that bunt down. If it hadn't been for a nice play by Tropiano getting off that hill and throwing a strike down to first base, we would have had runners at the corner. But at least Rugi got the runner over to third base with less than 2 outs. That's the bottom line.
And he set the table for Prince Fielder, who takes a strike from Tropiano. Fielder, a .341 average. That is still second in baseball. And, Miguel Cabrera still leading all of baseball at 350. Tropiano gets Prince on the fist, and Fielder fights it off, 0-2. Fielder, a 5-game hitting streak coming into play tonight. Over those 5 ball games, he's gone 8 for 22. And with runners in scoring position, Prince the second best average in the American League at 386. Well, this one popped up. Behind home plate, Iannetta near the screen makes the catch. And Fielder out on a foul pop for out number 2. It'll be up to Adrian Beltre if the Rangers are to score. Take a look at the Angel defense. You've seen a few of them. Outfielder Daniel Robertson is in left. Mike Trout in center. Cole Calhoun is in right. C.J. Cron the start at first base. Johnny Giovatella and Eric Ibar up the middle. Kyle Kubica, Northern Texas boy, at third base. And Chris Iannetta is behind the plate. So 2 out. Here's Beltre, a 259 average. 0-1. Adrian, 6 out of 21 on this trip, but he has been hotter than that. If you go back the last 10 ball games, he has hit 359. And he has been driving in some big runs for the Rangers. Fly ball got in on him a little bit. Robertson making a play going to his left, and that'll do it. So Tropiano able to work around the leadoff double by Delino to Shields. The Shields stranded at third base. Half an inning in the books, no score in Anaheim.
For the Angels, Johnny Giovatella will play second base and lead off. Cole Calhoun will play right and bat second. Center field will be Mike Trout and bat third. Albert Pujols is the DH and hitting cleanup. Eric Ibar will play short and bat fifth. C.J. Cron will bat sixth and play first base. Chris Iannetta will do the catching and bat seventh. Kyle Kubica will play third and bat eighth. And Daniel Robertson will bat ninth and play left field.
And that's Mike Socha's lineup that will face the 35-year-old right-hander Colby Lewis. Colby having a great year, 9-4. That leads the Rangers staff. He's on a good roll. He's won his last 2 starts, throwing the ball as well as he has at any time during the season. And he needs to bring that confidence and that execution against this Angel team into this ballpark. He has had trouble the last several years against the Angels. They have treated him rather rudely, and that goes back to the start he had against them at home, where he gave up 10 runs to the Angels. So they're going to try to turn that around tonight. Johnny Giovatella starting things off, and he went around for strike 2. Giovatella has been a godsend for Mike Socha at the top of the order. He has really done a great job of setting the table, very much like Delino DeShields has done for the Rangers. Angels credit a big part of their turnaround to having Giovatella at the top being the spark. And that pitch just a little bit low. Colby trying to nail that slider to the outside corner, didn't miss by much. The Angels are 21-6 when Giovatella starts as the leadoff hitter. Angels have gone 6-1 since the All-Star break. And Gio Batella skies one to left center field. Playable. And Delino DeShields ambling over. That is out number 1. Take a look at the rest of the Ranger defense, delivered to you tonight by DeMontron RV. Well, you saw DeShields in center. He is flanked by Josh Hamilton in left field and Shin-Soo Choo in right. Mitch Moreland back at first base. Ruben Odor and Elvis Andrus up the middle. Adrian Beltre mans third. And Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. And Colby Lewis from Bakersfield, California, right at the southern end of the San Joaquin Valley. Cole Calhoun takes inside for ball 1. Calhoun hitting at .272. He has established himself as a pretty good power hitter this year, putting up the numbers: 13 home runs and 53 RBI. That is third on the Angel Club in RBI. And he pops this one to left field toward the line. Hamilton. That is out number 2. No, not a surprise. Colby Lewis, second most fly balls given up by any pitcher in baseball. He has 2 fly ball outs.
Yeah, Colby's done a tremendous job being able to keep the ball in the ballpark, number 1. But he's definitely a fly ball pitcher. He likes to get the ball in on left-handers, away on right-handers, and that creates a lot of pop-ups.
The fly balls, most in the American League, by Phil Hughes. Just 8 more than Colby. Here's Mike Trout, 2-time MVP of the Midsummer Classic. Trout, one of just 4 players in history that have been multiple MVPs of that particular ball game. He takes high and tight, and the count is now 2-0. Trout, a .303 hitter, 28 home runs, 57 runs driven in. And 3-0 as Colby misses down and away. Now Trout hitting third, to be followed by tonight's designated hitter. That would be Albert Pujols. High and tight, ball 4, Colby. A 4-pitch walk puts Trout aboard, and that's something that Colby does about as seldom as anybody in the American League, and that's gives you a walk. He's 9th in the American League, averaging just a bit over 1.8 walks per 9 innings.
Yeah, Colby does a tremendous job staying in the strike zone. And, occasionally he'll nibble on the outside part of the plate, try to make a hitter get himself out. And very seldom does he walk 3 or 4 batters in a game.
Now, Trout is a .375 hitter against Colby, so that probably led to a little bit of concern.
Got to be a little careful.
Well, here's Albert Pujols, who's no soft touch himself. .262 hitter. He takes a slider for a strike. Albert leading the world in home runs, 29 of them. Look at the last 7 ball games. Since the All-Star break, Pujols, .421 average. 61 RBI, tops on the ball club to go along with those 29 home runs. Chopper foul outside third. We'll come back and try it at 0-2. Home run leaders. See the Angels right at the top with Pujols and Trout. J.D. Martinez for the Tigers is third. And Nelson Cruz, Mark Teixeira, both with 24. Both Trout and Pujols tied the franchise record for the Angels with home runs before the All-Star break. They both had 26 of them. Garrett Anderson had established that several years ago here at Anaheim. Got him swinging. Boy, that pretty good breaking ball, and Pujols waving at it for the final out. So the Walker left stranded will go to the second. Rangers nothing, Angels nothing. this stop of the trip. He's roaming around Angel Stadium somewhere. Let's check in with Jim Knox.
Hey, Buzz, right outside of Angel Stadium, the main attraction. Check this out. The Mike Trout bobblehead. Life-size bobblehead of Mike Trout. This is to honor him, not only a great player, but also the American League most valuable player in the All-Star game. The head even goes up and down like a bobblehead. Check that out, huh? Mike Trout, life-size bobblehead, about 6'2". Mike signed it this afternoon. Just unveiled this evening. Buzz?
All right, Knoxie. Something you don't see every day, a life-size bobblehead.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
That would be scary.
Mitch Moreland starting off the second inning for the Rangers. Scoreless ball game. Mitch a 286 average. And he takes Tropiano's pitch a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mitch still the team leader with 16 home runs, 49 RBI. He has been a big part of the Rangers' resurgence here since the All-Star break. Hits this one in the air to left field. It's playable as Daniel Robertson backs up. That is out number 1. Now, kind of a mild reaction. Josh Hamilton introduced.
Yeah, it's pretty mild. I thought it would be more, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it would be much louder, but that's good.
Yeah, it is. So that's out of the way. Now we know what the reaction was going to be. No more speculation. And Josh now will try and elicit, well, maybe a few boos. He gets one out of the ballpark.
I think it'll get louder then. Let's find out.
Josh at 237. He has 3 home runs. 8 driven in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the build up to this return, a lot more made of it than I think Josh or any of his teammates were concerned about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think people want to see some negativity going around. So I think there was a lot of build up unnecessarily. You go to different places and sometimes you get booed for whatever reason.
2-2.
Now it probably will happen all night and all weekend.
Most likely.
But, hey, we got it out of the way now.
As the saying goes, it is what it is, right?
That's it.
Tropiano to the wind and the 2-2. Got him swinging. So Hamilton gone. And with 2 outs now, Elvis Andrus will come up. Elvis, 246 with the average, the hero of Wednesday afternoon's ball game. And that big 2-run single helped the Rangers to a 10-8 victory over Colorado. Elvis, a .333 hitter in his last 9 ball games. He has gotten back on track. 7 for 24 on the road trip. This is the 3rd stop, of course, for the Rangers. Had 3 in Houston, 3 in Denver, and now 3 more here in Anaheim.
Yeah, Elvis has been swinging the bat well, being consistent, and that's what every player wants to be. You want to be consistent, and Elvis has been picking it up lately.
Wednesday was the 4th game of the year for Elvis with 3 or more RBI. And hitting down in the order, you like to see him driving in runs when he gets that opportunity.
Yeah, you've got to have some guys down at the bottom of the order that are getting on base and driving the runners in. The big fellas that get on base that drive the table setters in. So you want the entire lineup contributing.
3-0 pitch from Tropiano. Now 3-1. Yeah, you didn't notice it as much when Elvis was hitting second in the order, which he did an awful lot for his first 6 years in the major leagues. You didn't notice the RBI total that much. That wasn't expected of him necessarily. Right. Hits this one pretty well to right center field. Trout moving back and to his left there and makes the catch. That'll do it. A couple of fly balls and a strikeout. Well, we finished an inning and a half here in Anaheim and down at Laguna Beach. Beautiful vista, as there are many of which in Southern California. No score after 1.5. Just use hashtag Southwest Data StrongFan, and you just might see yourself on one of our upcoming broadcasts. Of course, this is brought to you by the good folks at T-Mobile. Well, the Angels come to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Scoreless ball game. Eric Ibar to start things off. And Colby Lewis, who gave up just a walk in the first inning, goes to work with a fastball for strike one. Ibar, as we mentioned when we saw them after or just prior to the All-Star break, I should say, down in Arlington, not your prototypical fifth place hitter, but doing a pretty good job of backing up Albert Pujols in the lineup.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job, and especially down in Texas. He had a very, very good series against us down there.
Pokes one out to his counterpart, Elvis Andrus in short. That's out number one. I've got to be careful about being overly optimistic here. Tom and I talked about if you shut down Trout and Pujols, you've got a good chance to beat the Angels. And we said that the first game, and all of a sudden everybody else besides Trout and Pujols, I think, had 3 hits and scored 4 runs each or something like that.
I remember that. I believe they were 1 for 10 in that first game between the two of them.
Yeah, they were.
And it was everybody else that did the damage. So how about if we just shut down everybody?
There you go.
Yeah.
And just make sure of it. There's C.J. Cron, and boy, he went after a hanging breaking ball and fouled it away for strike one. Cron has turned himself into the Ranger killer on this Angel club, hitting over 500 in his career against the Rangers. Little tapper down the first baseline, and Chirinos pounces on it, throws him out, 2 gone. Good pitches by Colby to start this inning off, and he's got 2 quick outs, and he'll face Chris Iannetta.
I like how Colby's going about his business so far. His location seems to be right where he wants it. He's fooled a couple of batters on some pretty good pitches. His pitch count's pretty low.
Colby just using 18 pitches to get the first 5 outs of the ball game. Chris Iannetta steps in. He has improved his batting average to .205 now. 7 home runs, 25 driven in. He has been on a bit of a home run tear of late. Iannetta with 4 home runs in the month of July. That's the last 8 ball games after hitting 3 in the first 54 games. And Colby very quickly out in front. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, this Angel club, as we mentioned, leading the American League West now, and that's on the basis of going 17-4 in their last 21 ball games. They've not only caught the Astros, but gone ahead of them. They were up by 2 games. Astros picked up a game yesterday. Mike Scioscia's club, though, has played great ball. They're 6-1 since the break. And you look at those numbers, a 58-run differential since July 1st for the Angels. 28 home runs is tied for first in the American League, and over 6 runs per game. That's second. 0-2 the count to Iannetta. Now he asked for time, and Colby stops in his motion. And you couple that with what we mentioned as far as the Angels starters, a 1.50 ERA since the All-Star break. That's going to win you a few ball games. And they have won a few, like 6 out of 7.
Yeah, they've been putting it all together. Pitching's been there. You mentioned the numbers with the starting staff. The hitting's obviously been there, and so has the defense. So they've been doing it on a consistent basis, and that's really the key.
And Colby found the key to that inning is getting the called third strike on Iannetta. 1-2-3 frame. Angels gone. We have finished 2. No score in Anaheim. Globe Life Park will receive a Rangers cowboy hat. That's courtesy of Coca-Cola and Walmart. You don't want to miss this. That's a great accessory to have around the house. And you can visit TexasRangers.com for tickets, or you can call 972-RANGERS if you prefer. Nothing like a good straw cowboy hat for you. Shin-Soo Choo stepping in to face Nick Tropiano to lead things off. Tropiano, 6'4" right-hander. He is 24 years of age, out of Long Island, New York. Went to Stony Brook College, the university that produced Joe Nathan, among others. Shin-Soo Choo taking strike one. Choo has been on a tear. Hit for the cycle on Tuesday night in Colorado. He's down on the count here. No balls, 2 strikes. Choo became the 8th Ranger ever hit for the cycle. He's gone 7 for 13 on this trip. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hit the ball well pretty much that whole series, with the exception for maybe the last game. But 5 hits in a row.
Got him swinging. Well, that was the problem. Choo, with that strikeout there now, has struck out 5 straight times going back to last game. He became the first player ever to hit for a cycle, and then the very next day strike out 4 times. That's not a record you want to have on your resume. It's on there.
It's on there. It is on there. Odabe McDowell had it before that. I think he struck out 3 times. But Choo got him by 1.
Yep. A 1 away here. Here's Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos, a .221 average. Now 9 home runs, 29 driven in. Robinson really establishing himself as that frontline catcher. He's gone 9 for 24 in his last 7 ball games. Boy, Tropiano painting the outside corner with a couple of fastballs. Tropiano came over from the Houston Astros, and a lot of folks down in Houston were really upset that the Astros got rid of Tropiano. He came over in exchange for Hank Conger. And some Houston fans felt that, hey, this guy's one of the developing young pitchers in our staff. What are you doing in our farm system? And the Astros said they thought that they needed Hank Conger more than they needed the services of Nick Tropiano.
Yeah, it's always a tough call when you're trading, young players that really haven't established themselves at the major league level. They're just minor leaguers, period. You just never know what they're going to turn into.
He gets Robinson Chirinos on a pretty wicked breaking ball. That is his 3rd strikeout, 2 gone. And before we go back to the top of the Ranger order, let's send it back to Dana Larson for a Mazda game break. All right, Dana, thank you. When you talk about providing immediate returns, that's pretty impressive.
I don't think it gets any more immediate than that.
Nope.
Just got him, a day ago?
Yep.
There he is, going 7 strong innings.
Well, Delino DeShields has the only base hit of this ballgame so far. He led off with a double to left field. And Scott Kazmir acquired from Oakland yesterday. 2 minor leaguers went to Oakland. With the A's, a 5-5 record, but a .238 ERA, and I believe that's 3rd in the American League, 3rd lowest. But the A's doing some rebuilding. Billy Beane deciding they could part with Kazmir to get that return.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that, especially when you're not in contention. You've got to look to the future.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. And I guess the question that Ranger fans have to figure out, John Daniels is really in kind of a gray area right now. You've got a week before the trading deadline. Are the Rangers buyers or sellers, or somewhere in between? It's probably somewhere in between right about now.
Yeah, it has to be somewhere in between. And I think, this weekend can really clear that picture up, or it can still make it a little cloudy and murky, depending on what the outcome is come Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's never an easy thing. It's just not. It's not clear cut. It's very rarely black or white. You're either, right now they're just right there in that middle. You just don't know.
John Daniels and Mike Daly, Thad Levine, As Delano DeShields skies to right field. Cole Calhoun there and makes the catch. And that'll do it. That's 8 straight now, sent down by Nick Tropiano. Rangers gone in the third after 2.5. No score at Angel Stadium. Your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer now to kick off the summer right. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Bottom of the third inning, scoreless ball game. Well pitched so far by both Colby Lewis and Nick Tropiano. Kyle Kubica, who went to Colleyville Heritage High School and then to Texas State University in San Marcos. Rounding out, nice play by Rugnan Odor. Kubica, we'll talk a little more about him next time he comes up, but just got recalled from AAA yesterday. David Freese, the third baseman for the Angels, down with an injury, and Kubica up for his second time at the big leagues this year.
Gets this one into the shift. Rugi goes to his right. Makes a nice off-balance throw from the outfield grass. 1 out.
Now the number 9 man, former Ranger, Daniel Robertson. Colby breaking out that slider tonight. He's got a very good one. Daniel Robertson just saw it and couldn't make contact. Robertson, a .274 average. No home runs, 5 driven in. And there is strike 2. Colby with maybe a little more giddy up on the fastball tonight too than
what we normally see.
At least what he's had lately has been good. To center field, and Delano DeShields drifting back. 2 gone. Well, very quickly we go back to the top of the Angels order. Johnny Giovatella.
Colby getting ahead of hitters. That first strike, coming back, typically getting that second strike, and then able to finish off the hitters pretty quickly.
Well, Giovatella has had very good success against the Rangers this year. He's gone 11 for 33 in the matchups with Texas pitching. Giovatella, kind of a journeyman second baseman, but he's found a home here after Howie Kendrick was dealt to the Dodgers in the offseason. Angels really came up short with the second baseman. Giovatella has filled that job admirably, but also now stepping in to be the leadoff man has been a very big part of this Angel team.
Yeah, Howie Kendrick was a big part of this Rangers team for a lot of years, put up some great numbers, so it's hard to kind of step in and fill those shoes, but Giovatella's done a nice job of holding down second base.
Colby gets another pop fly, and Shin-Soo Choo takes charge, runs off Rugnan Odor to make the catch, and that will do it. That is 7 straight now, sent down by Colby Lewis. No, we have finished 3 quick innings here in Anaheim. Still no score. Giovanni Gallardo taking his 7-9 record, but a 2.91 ERA out to the mound. And the All-Star Hector Santiago, the left-hander with a 7-4 mark, a very fine 2.30 ERA. We'll be with you at 8 o'clock Central Time on Fox Sports Southwest. That should be an interesting matchup. And it's been very interesting here tonight for the Rangers. Just one base hit in the ball game. That was Delino DeShields' leadoff single, or leadoff double, I should say, in the first inning. Rougned Odor, who sacrificed him along, so he's not had an official at bat, takes outside from Tropiano for ball 1. Odor hitting at .268, 6 home runs, 30 driven in. Guy that's among the leaders in a lot of offensive categories since coming back to the major leagues. And how about since June 15th? That's when Rougned Odor came back to the major leagues. The OPS, on base plus slugging, 4th in the American League. How about those names? Lorenzo Cain, Mike Trout, players that you would expect to be up there. J.D. Martinez, but then there's Rougned.
That's some nice company to be in. I mean, he's definitely earned it. He's come back swinging a tremendous bat, hot bat. He's got some pop in there.
It's our Ford leaderboard with Rougned right in amongst the big guys. 3-1 the count to him. Odor trying to lead off to get aboard here in the 4th inning. A chopper to the right side, the Giovatello gloves. 1 out. So Odor grounds out. Now Prince Fielder. Fielder, probably the most important out for Nick Tropiano tonight. Fielder was up in the first inning with DeShields at 3rd and 1 out, and Tropiano able to get Prince off balance, and he popped up in foul territory to Chris Iannetta, the catcher.
Yeah, you don't see that happen too often with Prince up. He typically gets that run across the plate any way he can, but got out in front of a pitch and popped it up to the catcher, Iannetta.
How much of that can you attribute, not that Prince would ever have an excuse to give you, but how much of that can you chalk up to not having seen a guy like Tropiano before?
I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, not knowing, what pitch he may throw you in or an out pitch.
Right.
You may know what it is, but he may not throw it in that situation. You just don't know. So I think the pitcher definitely has the edge the first few at bats that you have against a guy.
That fastball is sliced high in the air, but out of play down the left side.
You know, you can watch film all day long and see it on tape, and even see it at different angles from center field, from behind home plate, high, low, it doesn't matter. It's all different once you're in that batter's box. It's a different view, a different angle, a different feel. So you may have an idea, but until you actually see it live, it's totally different.
Another 0-2 pitch coming to fielder. A little bit low. What about watching from the bench or even the on-deck circle? Is that an accurate portrayal of what a guy's stuff is?
No, there's nothing as genuine or as authentic as being in the batter's box. You can get a feel, if you're on deck and you can get kind of in line with that pitcher, you may have a little bit better angle, but still not the best angle is to see when you're in that box and what it does when you're actually standing there.
Fielder skies to Trout. That's out number 2. And, of course, if you try to get too far behind home plate, you might run the risk of making a pitcher a little bit upset. Just a little bit. Well, folks, the Yankees come into Globe Life Park. The New York Yankees visit July 27th through the 30th, and a $1 hot dog happy hour has just been announced. It's coming up Wednesday, July 29th. Happy hour with a hot dog. I like that. $1 dogs will be available at the time the gates open until 7 o'clock while supplies last. Great seats still available for all Yankee games. Visit TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS to get yours. $1 hot dog happy hour up until the gates open at 7 o'clock. From the time the gates open until 7 o'clock.
$1 hot dog happy hour.
I may have to partake in some of that.
I might have to join you.
Adrian Beltre skied to left field back in the first inning. 0-1 the count as Tropiano comes back to him. 1-1. Nothing, I don't know what it is, but there's nothing like a dog at the ballpark.
That's the only place to eat them.
Yeah.
It really is. Hot dogs and baseball games.
Yep. 1-1 pitch. Now 1-2, and that was that little cut fastball that Tropiano will feature every once in a while. You talked about the out pitches for him, Mac. Tropiano's come up with a pretty good split-fingered fastball that he'll use in conjunction with a changeup. They're both off-speed pitches, so he kind of has 2 off-speed pitches as put-away pitches. He's fouled down. Adrian getting a 92-mile-an-hour heater that he just got a piece of.
It's even watching, knowing that he's got a couple of out pitches, knowing which one he's going to throw you in any given situation, it's kind of tough until you see a guy a few times and then he develops a pattern, and hopefully you can pick up on that pattern. But that's why that pitcher has that advantage early on.
Now the 1-2 once again. Pulled to Kubica down at third. And that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning. That is 10 straight. Make that 11 straight now. Sent down by Nick Tropiano. 3.5 in the books. Rangers nothing, Angels nothing. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. And by Mazda. In every car we make, you'll see why driving matters. Now the pier down at Newport Beach. Chris Fitzpatrick, our vaunted cameraman who's on this trip. Fox Sports Southwest cameraman going out and detailing the scenes around Southern California so well. He was the one that took John Radigan halfway up a mountain the other day. Had to carry him back down. No, just kidding. Rad's in good shape.
I think he got an MRI on the off day yesterday. Waiting for those results. I guess we'll get him when we get back home.
That's right. He's day to day still. Cole Calhoun out on a fly ball to left his first time. Is fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike, or 2 strikes, I should say. Calhoun at 272 coming in. The Angels were shut out yesterday as they stopped their 7-game winning streak. Urban Santana blanked them on 3 hits for the Minnesota Twins. And this had been one of the hotter hitting teams going, but Santana got a little payback with his former club. And it looks like Colby Lewis trying to follow that pattern. Colby, similar stuff to Urban Santana. Good fastball, good slider, good hard slider to go along with it. And there's a hanging slider that stayed away that Calhoun couldn't go up and get.
We'll take it.
Strikeout number 3 for Colby.
Colby tried to go down and away. This one kind of got away. Hung up there, stayed up. Calhoun went after it.
That's that backup slider or cutter, whatever you want to call it. If you could do that on when you wanted to, on demand, that's a heck of a pitch.
That would be.
Mike Trout, who has been the only base runner for the Angels, takes strike 1. Trout drew a 4-pitch walk in the first inning. Mentioned at the time, Trout had given Colby fits over the years. 375 his average against Colby. And Trout, of course, one of the best in baseball. Gets the Rangers this year hitting at 344. I think tonight, right, at least the first 3 1/3 innings, the slider by Colby looks like a fastball to all the hitters.
It really does, and it's got some bite to it. It's got some really good bite.
Yeah. We've seen a couple pretty good hitters in Pujols and Trout kind of have the same swing at it, and there's a ball that's crushed to left field. Trout got one up, and it is gone. Home run number 29 for Trout, and the Angels lead it 1-0. #109th Angel home run this year. Mike Trout just launched that one.
Colby got one up, out over the plate. Tried to climb the ladder, didn't get in far enough.
Pujols takes inside. You know, that's in an area right there, Mac, where we've seen Trout in the past swing through a lot of those pitches.
You know, and that right there makes me believe that he's looking for it.
Yeah.
You know, but the success that we had against him last homestand, throwing him high in the zone and him not really being able to do anything with it. Then getting 2 strikes, he's probably looking for that, knowing that's what they've been trying to do. That's how they got him out that last time. That's really the only way I think you can hit a ball like that.
Pulled sharply down to Beltre. Adrian blocking it on one knee, throws out Pujols. That's out number 2. Next will be Eric Ibar. Fans, on Saturday, August the 15th, the Rangers take on the Tampa Bay Rays. It's a 7:05 game. And the first 10,000 fans, 14 and older, will receive a Star Wars themed t-shirt. It's courtesy of Takas. 4 different shirt designs are going to be available. Fans will also enjoy appearances from the Star Wars characters. Visit TexasRangers.com to purchase your tickets. Ibar takes the pitch high and away. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Ibar rounded out to Elvis Andrus, his first time up. Switch hitter, batting left-handed against the right-hander Lewis. 3 balls and no strikes. Eric Ibar, at his advanced age for a middle infielder, 31, he's still got the legs to be 4th in the league in infield hits. Takes a strike here.
Yeah, he can still motor, and like you said earlier, he's not your prototypical 5-hole hitter hitting behind Pujols. Ibar's a shortstop, can run, can steal bases.
And he pops one up. Beltre moving into foul territory. Now comes back into fair territory, and that will do it. Well, the side retired, but Mike Trout, with his 29th home run of the year, puts the Angels on the board. We'll go to the 5th inning. Angels lead the Rangers 1-0. Lexus Club Terrace and lower reserve sections are half price when you purchase them online thanks to Ozarka. Tuesday, August 4th, the perfect time to take advantage of this offer. Rangers are taking on the Houston Astros. Get your tickets online at texasrangers.com/specials using the online coupon code Ozarka. Well, Josh Hamilton will lead things off for the Rangers here in the 5th inning. Or excuse me, Mitch Moreland. Hamilton will follow. I don't want to minimize what Mitch is doing. Moreland, a fly ball to left, his first time up. Tropiano with the first pitch, and he gets the outside corner with strike 1. Moreland, a 3 RBI game on Wednesday. And that means in the last 19 games, Mitch has driven in 16. He has closed that gap between he and Prince Fielder for the club leadership to just 9 RBI now.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat well, and didn't get much playing time in Colorado. Sat out the first couple of games. There was no DH, so Prince got the start at first base. But he was able to get into Wednesday's ball game, got the start there, and did a nice job.
Moreland 8 home runs in his last 19 ball games, and that's the 3rd most in baseball in that time period. And Mike Trout, J.D. Martinez have 10. Ooh, there's a vicious rip and a changeup. 2-2. There's that pitch that we talked about for Tropiano. That was a straight change, and he really has good deception with that thing. You have hitters that come out of their shoes swinging at it. You know it must be pretty deceptive.
Yeah, especially when they're seeing it for the first time.
Mitch out in front a little bit and lofts a fly ball to center field. Trout handles it for out number 1. And now Josh Hamilton will come up. think about the same level of fan reaction. This is a late arriving crowd in Anaheim, so maybe a few more people here.
It's very late arriving crowd. Yes, it's getting a little louder. Hopefully, I want to hear it. I want to hear it really loud. I think the only way for that to happen is if Josh goes deep.
Be one of those, huh? Into the corner, and that ball is off the wall. Throw into second by Calhoun, and Hamilton sliding in with a double. That's not quite as loud as it. If that ball had gone out, it would have been a lot louder than that.
Yes.
So Hamilton with the second base hit of the night. Both of them have been doubles for the Rangers.
A hanging breaking ball. Got that one. Didn't look like he hit it all that well, but it ended up hitting the bottom of the wall in right field.
Probably had a little topspin on that thing, huh?
Yeah, it looks like it. Almost pulled that ball a little bit more to the right, and it would have been really loud in here.
Yeah, that short 4-foot wall out there. It's real close right down that line. So Hamilton at second with one out. Elvis Andrus, a fly ball to center, his first trip to the plate. Elvis has always enjoyed hitting against the Los Angeles Angels. 307 career average. And here at Angel Stadium in 58 ball games prior to tonight, a 318 mark. And you see what he has done lately. 333 overall in his last 9 games. Tropiano back to the plate. Little looper into shallow center. Trout got a late break. He's not going to be able to get there. Hamilton had to hold up to make sure it fell in, but Josh able to get to third. But a single, looping single from Elvis Andrus. The Rangers have runners at the corners and just one out for Shin-Soo Choo.
Sometimes you need a break, and Rangers got one here, and this is a tough time of night to really pick up the ball. Trout wouldn't have gotten that anyway, but couldn't really tell if that ball was hit hard or not. Elvis got it off the end of the bat. Trout took a step back, and that was all it needed to fall in.
Well, the Rangers have tripled their hit total in this inning, up to 3 now. And Shin-Soo Choo, who struck out his first time, will try and get the Rangers at least even in this ballgame. It's 1-0 Angels. Choo with 43 RBI entering this at bat, takes strike 1. Rangers did have just a little bit of experience against Nick Tropiano, who worked a September start against the Rangers last year for the Astros. Choo, of course, not in that ball game. He missed a lot of that part of the season. He was shut down. Elvis almost getting picked at first base. Tropiano, a pretty quick move over there. Fortunately, the throw was up a little bit. By the time Crone got the tag down, and Elvis had gotten back to the bag.
That was pretty quick. You know, and sometimes early in the game, I know it's the 5th inning already, but the field hasn't really dried out from being watered down just not even an hour ago. So it can still be a little bit muddy, a little slick track out there.
Another throw over there. And again, it looked like Elvis kind of spun his wheels trying to get back.
Yeah, you see him picking the mud out of his shoes. It's still a little slick out there, so you've got to be careful, especially in a situation like this.
Well, Elvis not backing off. He's still establishing that good lead at first base. Tropiano, the belt high set. And a pitch out with Iannetta coming up out of the crouch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Scioscia probably still has nightmares about what the Rangers were able to do here a couple of years ago to his pitchers and catchers. Iannetta, one of those. Rangers went crazy. They had 7 stolen bases in one night. They had double figures in the series. Elvis and Leonis Martin just went crazy. Every time they got on, they didn't stop.
Gone.
Yeah.
They just kept going.
Yeah. Tropiano, a long look in. Now the right-hander is ready, and another toss to first, and it gets by Crone. Hamilton will score, Elvis at second. He's going to continue to third. And the throw by Giavotella not in time. The Rangers lead it or tie it at 1 and have the go-ahead run at third on the error. Now the throw from Tropiano got under the glove, it looked like. We'll get a little look at it here.
Yeah, C.J. Cron just didn't handle it. It was there. It was a very catchable ball. I think a lot of times pitchers can, get close to picking a guy off and think, hey, if I go a little bit quicker, throw a little bit harder, a little faster, I can pick that guy off.
Well, that's going to be an error on Nick Tropiano to allow Hamilton to score and to allow Elvis to get over to third. Now, with 1 out, the Angels pull the infield all the way in, and they go over to an overshift with the infield in. And Chu lines it over the infield for a base hit. Elvis will score. Chu going for 2. Here comes the throw by Calhoun. It's not in time as it gets away from Ibar. Chu with the RBI double. The Rangers have the lead now at 2-1.
The Rangers being very aggressive on the bases. You saw DeShields on the first hit of the ball game turn a ball into a double. You see Chu here with a runner on third base, less than 2 outs. This one down the right field line. And he's thinking 2 all the way right out of the box. No hesitation whatsoever. See Elvis waiting for that ball to fall. Chu digging hard for second base. Being very aggressive with the slide going in there. Ibar, watch yourself.
Yeah. Get upended a little bit.
Got to get out of the way.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to talk to Nick Tropiano very briefly. Young pitcher, and you wonder if they go back to the throwing error that he made. Might have been on his mind and making the pitch to Shin-Soo Choo.
Now, could that be a situation where there are too many things on his mind that he's thinking about?
Yeah, too many negative things for sure. No, the Rangers have the lead. It is 2-1 Texas. Robinson Chirinos, the number 9 hitter, takes low for ball 1. So 3 consecutive hits here in the third, aided by a 2-base throwing error. And the Rangers have put 2 on the board, and they threaten to extend the lead. 1 ball, no strikes. Now 1-1. Chirinos 5 out of 17 now on this trip. And a strikeout, his first time to the plate. Robinson, you remember back in April against the Angels, set a career high with 5 RBI in 1 ball game. Chance to pick up Chu from second base. Tropiano missing badly outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Chirinos has been getting a lot of, or the majority of the time behind the plate since Corcoran went on the disabled list, and I think it's going to continue that way until Corby comes back.
Yeah, Robinson has done nothing to take the trust out of away from skipper Jeff Bannister. He has done everything you could possibly ask him to do. Driving in runs. Hey, you'd like for your catcher to produce a little more offense as far as average goes, but you got some pop there. 9 home runs, 29 RBI, and part-time play. Now more full-time. Done a good job handling the pitching staff. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Now full count. So Chirinos trying to work his way on base. He'd like to join Shin-Soo Choo, Rangers top of the order, waiting. That's Delino DeShields. Rangers 2 runs on 4 hits. Angels 1 run on 1 hit. That was the Mike Trout home run. Rangers have put 3 of their 4 hits together in this inning. Base hit to center field. Around third, here comes Chu. Here comes the throw from Trout. It is not in time. Now they have Chirinos hung up between first and second. Ibar will run him all the way back and make the tag. Chirinos kind of got caught in no man's land on the throw. He was thinking about, he saw how high the throw was. He was thinking about continuing on to second, then had second thoughts, and that was too late.
Yeah, Chris Iannetta made a very nice play by coming up to cut that ball off and kind of just hang Chirinos up in no man's land. But typically when you see that outfielder let that ball go, you can see the trajectory out of his hand. You can tell if it's going to go over the cutoff man, you keep going as a runner. But you've got to have a pretty good head of steam up going before you make that call. But Iannetta did exactly what he's supposed to do on the other end. And, caught Chirinos being just a little bit too aggressive.
And Iannetta almost threw that ball away looking at the replay there with Giavotella coming over to the bag. Iannetta uncorked the throw that Giavotella had to catch on the run. So the Rangers, though, with the RBI single by Chirinos, now have a 3-1 lead. And Delino DeShields with the bases empty now and 2 away, trying to get something going with 2 outs. Check swing. It is not a swing. He appealed down to first base, and Larry Vanover down there said, no, he didn't go. 1 ball and 1 strike. Delino, a double back in the first. Fly to right in the 3rd inning. Slider kind of hung up there for him. Delino swung through it. It's 1-2. And Nick Tropiano had a little bit of misfortune on the throw he made to first base, but it turns out in the scoring of things, really had nothing to do with the scoring extra. The doubles and singles have taken care of it. That'll do it. Rangers gone in the 5th, but they scored 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, nobody left. Halfway through the ball game, Rangers 3, Angels 1. The Angels come to bat now against Colby Lewis, and Colby protecting a 3-1 lead. And he deals strike 1 to C.J. Cron. It'll be Cron, Iannetta, and Kubica in the 5th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Only blemish on Colby's night tonight, Mike Trout. His 29th home run of the year in the 4th inning. Cron reaching for one, skies to center field. Chu and DeShields converging. Delino handles that. That is out number 1. And speaking of Delino DeShields, you can meet him on Wednesday at the Whataburger on Sycamore School Road in Fort Worth. Delino DeShields will be there, and I don't want you to miss this chance to win some great prizes and meet one of your favorite Rangers at Whataburger. Chris Iannetta called out on strikes, his first time to the plate. Colby with 3 strikeouts tonight, 1 walk, and just the 1 hit. And then batting at 204 as he faces Lewis. Good slider. Colby, an excellent job. Just 53 pitches working here in the 5th inning. Now ahead of the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Colby's done a good job tonight of getting ahead of hitters. It seems every time you look up, he's ahead 0-2.
Yep. Well, Colby, we mentioned Colby, this is the way he's been working the last several times out. He's able to bring that into a ballpark that's not that easy to pitch in, and against a team that has been red hot, he's going to have success, and he was doing just that. Colby has worked at least 7 innings in his last 2 starts, winning at Houston, having a no decision in San Diego. But he has really thrown the ball well, and he gets his 4th strikeout of the night as he gets Iannetta for the 2nd time. 2 gone. And before Kyle Kubica comes up, let's send it back to Dana Larson for a Mazda game break. All right, Dana, here the Rangers leading 3-1 behind Colby Lewis. Kyle Kubica, who grounded out to second, his first time up, is in there. Mentioned Kyle just called back to the big leagues yesterday for the 2nd time this year. Had a pinch hit in yesterday's ball game. Kyle and his brother Austin both went to Colleyville Heritage High School. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Colby trying to work Kubica inside and has fallen behind. 33 doubles for Kubica at AAA Salt Lake City. That was leading the Pacific Coast League. Takes a strike there. Three-one pitch. High in the air and slicing back into the crowd down the left field line. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Colby back up on top. 61st pitch of the ball game coming up. It is a payoff pitch. And a chopper foul. We will try it again. Kubica working his way up very quickly. He came over from Atlanta to the Angels. Angels trading for him this past January and in need of a third baseman for the future. And they thought Kubica filled that bill very nicely. The idea was that David Freese would be the regular third baseman this year, and they'd open the competition up next year for him. Ball shot foul. Kubica, as you already seen in the one play, had a tremendous arm. He's got as strong an arm as you can find on any infielder. Nice fluid over the top throw. You know, not a whole lot of body action or just not a whole lot of effort with a cannon like that. That's nice to see. More of a line drive hitter, never has produced an awful lot of power. He's driven in some runs, though. Another 3-2 pitch, and another foul ball. Kubica and Colby Lewis having a pretty good battle here. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Colby to the wind. Got him swing. Good slider down and in. And Colby, with 5 strikeouts, puts up a comeback inning. So we'll go to the 6th here in Anaheim. 3-1 Texas. Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $200 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run during this inning, Susan Stevens from Colleyville will win $200. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Susan is going to win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Rougned Odor to start things off here in the Rangers' 6th inning. It'll be Odor, Fielder, and Beltre to face Nick Tropiano. Tropiano hurt his own cause a bit with a throwing error in the 5th. Rangers scoring 3 runs on 4 hits in that frame. Odor pounds one down to Crone, and C.J. Crone will take it to the bag. That is out number 1. So Odor is 0 for 2 officially with a sacrifice bunt. And now Prince Fielder. Talking about that throwing error that Tropiano made. Angels pitchers lead the major leagues with 13 miscues this year. 13 throwing errors, or errors, not just throwing, but fielding errors. Tropiano, in that sense, fitting right in with the rest of the staff. 1 ball, no strikes. The count to Fielder. Prince has popped out and skied to center field. 2 balls, no strikes. Prince, 339 average. And again, that change of pace by Tropiano and had Prince wailing away, but couldn't make contact. 2-1.
He's been having Prince a little off balance so far tonight. Staying away, going down and in.
That down and in, but Fielder lays off. 3-1. So Fielder trying to get aboard here in the 6th inning. He'll be followed by the Ranger third baseman, Adrian Beltre. Tropiano back to the plate. He's hit on right off the end of the bat and cued into the seats on the third base side. Full count. The Angels with action going in their bullpen. Tropiano up to 81 pitches. That has been pretty much his MO in the minor leagues. They haven't stretched him out much beyond 80, 85, 87 at times. But lately that's been just about it. So Mike Scioscia and company keeping a real close eye on the young right-hander.
You see Mike Scioscia's changed their defensive alignment against Fielder. The last time down in Arlington, they had everybody on the right side except the third baseman. But Fielder took advantage of that down there in Arlington. And so they've changed things up on him. They've got the shortstop playing at his normal spot, the third baseman a little bit off the line, but the traditional setup this time.
Yeah, Fielder works the walk, which there is no defense for. So it's at least none that I know of. Well, there may be now. With the new statistics, they might have figured out a way to defend.
They might have. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that walk is no longer indefensible. Here's Beltre. Adrian is flied out and grounded out. Ibar to second. They get 1, and there will be no throw. That ball just too softly hit into the hole, and Fielder out on the force. Beltre aboard on the fielder's choice. And with 2 outs, Mitch Moreland will come up.
Beltre going after the first pitch, looking for a particular pitch. Didn't quite get it. Tropiano got it a little away from him. Pulled it in the hole and see if we get the force at second.
Well, here's Mitch, who has skied out twice tonight. Once to left, once to center. Walking to 284 as he awaits the pitch from Tropiano, and it's a knee-high strike. Outfield playing Moreland a couple of steps around to the left. The infield very much an overshift. Kubica takes his time and fires to get Mitch Moreland by half a step at first base. A little cue shot turned into a very interesting play. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Rangers. We finished 5 1/2. It's Rangers 3 and the Angels 1. How about the AT&T Hubris Rewind 24 years ago yesterday? That man who is now the skipper of the Texas Rangers, Jeff Bannister, at his first and only major league hit. Watch this thing. This is scorched.
Watch the wheels. This is the good part. Look at him go.
Not even close. Huh?
Look at it. Get ready to steal second now.
Daniel Robertson chops one right down in front of home plate. There's nothing that Adrian Beltre can do except wait for it to come down. And Daniel Robertson has a leadoff single. Kind of a helpless feeling, huh, Matt?
Just so helpless when you see that. And as a hitter, you love it.
Yeah.
But as a defender, you're like, oh, come on, not like that. Chopped that right off the plate. Bounced about 40, 50 feet in the air. All Beltre could do was watch it.
Man. So, that is just the second Angel hit of the night. Robertson aboard, now back to the top of the order. Johnny Giovatella, who is 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts, steps in. Giovatella, a .264 average. And Colby quickening up his pace to home plate. Throws strike one. It's one area where Colby has really modified some things to help himself and the ball club out. Quickening up that move to home plate. A slide step, yeah, but he's changed his whole motion a little bit.
Yeah, I think he had to make an adjustment because when runners got on, they could run.
Right.
There wasn't really a whole lot Robbie or Corpy could do behind the plate. Typically when you're stealing a base, as a base stealer, you're stealing it off the pitcher because he's the one getting rid of the ball. So the quicker he gets rid of it, the better the chance the catcher has of throwing a runner out. So if that pitcher's taken a long time, he's got a long delivery, a high leg kick, or just a slow delivery to the plate, it makes it difficult for a catcher to do anything.
Foul back. And now Colby with the advantage, 0-2. And even the leg lift there, Colby's changed. It's not nearly as high. And the whole motion is a little up-tempo.
Right. And you, as a pitcher, when you have an issue like that, you have to change it up. You have to vary it. You don't want to continue to do the same thing and create a pattern because as a base stealer, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that same thing. I want to be able to count 1,001, 1,002, go. I want to know how long it's going to take him to get to the plate. But if he mixes it up, quick slide step here or come set and go quickly, the better off you are.
Elvis, a great diving stop, but he has no play as it rolled just out of his reach. And Giovatella is aboard with an infield single. What a great get, though, by Elvis Andrus.
He definitely kept that from being a first and third situation. If that ball gets by him with Daniel Robertson's speed, he's going to be at third base. So Elvis did a pretty good job keeping that ball right there in the infield, and it's just first and second right now. See Elvis going to his left, diving, knocking it down, keeping DR right there at second base.
Oh, first and second, and Cole Calhoun is coming to the plate. Robertson at second, Giovatella at first. Cole Calhoun tonight has flied to left and struck out. Rangers will play the infield slightly around to the right. Both Odor and Andrews going to be up at double play depth. Outfield shading Calhoun to the pull side. And he was on the breaking ball and fouled it straight down for strike one. Calhoun, in the last 15 ball games, he has hit .338. He has driven in 17 in those 15 games. So this is one of the hotter Angel hitters in run-producing situations. Month of July, he's tied for the most in the American League. That pitch down and in. And the count moves to 1-1. Against the Rangers this year, both C.J. Cron and Cole Calhoun at or above 500. How about that? Well, you can understand Miguel Cabrera against Cleveland, against anybody for that matter, 619, but then you have Cron and not too far behind Cole Calhoun.
Yeah, they had a great series down in Texas when they faced them the last time.
And that slider catches the inside corner. It's 1-2.
They were able to get the big guys out in the middle of the order, but Cron and Calhoun did a pretty good number on the Rangers last time around.
And Calhoun has done a pretty good number on Colby Lewis, too. Coming into the game tonight, he was 9 for 19 against the Ranger right-hander. Just in case you're wondering, that's a .474 average. But Colby up on the count here. The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball, a back foot slider, and a huge strikeout. Now there's one away with runners at first and second.
Well, big out, big pitch by Colby Lewis. Doesn't get any easier from here, but the more you get out, obviously, the better chances you have of getting the next guys out. So great slider down and in. Strike out Calhoun.
It doesn't get any easier. Here's Mike Trout. Trout crushed his 29th home run of the year last time up. That after walking his first time up. 305 season average, 58 runs driven in along with those 29 home runs. And Colby missing outside with the fastball. 1-0. Mike Trout now with 3 career home runs against Colby Lewis. One ball and one strike. Trout banged up his left heel in the just completed series against the Minnesota Twins. Missed a game on Tuesday, which was the first game that he missed all year long. Very durable center fielder. Had a breaking ball in pretty much a hitter's zone and fouled it straight back.
I think he wants that one back. See this pitch here right there? That's typically his hot zone.
Yep.
And Colby got away with one. And, just because you, as a pitcher, just because you make a mistake doesn't mean that hitter is going to be able to capitalize on it. It gives them a better chance, obviously, but it doesn't mean that they're going to capitalize on it. So just like Colby missed his spot, Trout missed the pitch.
I would not suggest trying to throw it there.
No,
again.
Probably not.
Now time called. Chirinos going to kick a little dirt off home plate and rethink the process. Colby Lewis with 2 on and 1 out. Daniel Robertson at second. Johnny Giamatella at first. A ball and 2 strikes as Trout wags that bat back and forth. Call strike 3. Got a slider to catch the upper reaches of the strike zone, and that was a frozen Trout.
Wow. That was a good one. He was frozen, definitely, and you don't see that happen very often, especially with runners in scoring position. Colby got the call there, hung up. Trout just watched it go by. Strike 3. And it still doesn't get any easier with this next guy.
Albert Pujols, and although if you strike out Calhoun and Trout, there's nothing saying you can't strike out Pujols too and make it a trifecta.
Nothing at all to say that. You're absolutely right. He's just got to execute some pitches right here, get out of this little jam.
Colby now 7 punch-outs for the evening. Pujols has struck out and grounded to third. Boy, that's as good a slider as we've seen Colby have. How about a cold hard fact from Coors Light? Showing you Albert Pujols has passed the likes of Ted Williams, Frank Thomas, Willie McCovey, Jimmy Fox, Mickey Mantle, and Mike Schmidt on the all-time home run list just this year. He's currently 6 behind Manny Ramirez for 14th all-time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cold hard fact brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
6 guys already on the list. And got room for a couple of more this year, possibly.
He does. Yes, I think following Manny, I think it's Reggie Jackson, I believe. Manny's there, and Reggie Jackson is 13th on that list. Another 8. And then Rafael Palmeiro, Harmon Killebrew, 11th. So it's quite possible that you see Albert Pujols passing the majority of those on the list. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colby with as good a sharp slider and apparently spin tonight that's not detectable to the hitter very well anyway.
No, it's not. They're going after it.
Yeah. And not just one hitter. I mean, it's everybody, every right-handed hitter that you've seen, and a couple of left-handers. 2-2 pitch now. Got him swinging. Colby strikes out. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols with 2 on and nobody out, and the Rangers are out of the 6th inning. Nothing going for the Angels. Will go to the 7th. 3-1 Texans. Started off too well for the Rangers as far as the summary is concerned. Mike Trout, his 29th home run of the year in the 4th, a solo blast. Angels were on top, but then back come the Rangers. Josh Hamilton silences the crowd momentarily with a double to lead off the inning. And that paved the way for Shin-Soo Choo to drive in the runs as he doubled to right field and knocked the Angels down to the deck. A 3-run 5th inning for the Rangers, and it is 3-1 now as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Colby with the towel over his head. And Josh Hamilton leading off, and he swings through a changeup from Tropiano. Hamilton, along with that double, has struck out tonight. 1 out of 2. Batting average at .244. Tropiano about ready to throw his 89th pitch of the night. Round ball headed toward right field and through for a base hit. Ibar hitting him up the middle on the first base side of second. That's a ground ball normally right at the second baseman, but Hamilton able to shoot it through the hole there for a leadoff single.
Yeah, Josh beat the shift that time. Ibar about 15-20 feet to the second base side of the bag. It's a routine ground ball to the second baseman, but this one ends up in right field for a single.
Well, Hamilton a 2-hit night in his return to Angel Stadium. See if he wants to really rub it in and steal second. First pitch to Elvis, a bunt, and it's a good one. Tropiano falls down, he'll have no play. Now, Tropiano, in his zeal to make a play, ended up having no play for himself or Kyle Kubica, who had a chance to field it and get an out.
Yeah, he had a much better play than Tropiano did on that one. I think, like you said, Buzz, he was just too anxious trying to make something happen as opposed to just letting that ball go and letting Kubica make the play.
Well, that's going to be an infield single, 2 aboard, nobody out, and that's going to do it for Nick Tropiano, who finishes after 6 innings plus 2 hitters here in the 7th. He leaves trailing 3-1 with a couple of runners on base, his responsibility. So a pitching change underway here at Angel Stadium. We'll take a timeout. We're back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. dealing to Shin-Soo Choo, who fouls off that first pitch. 0-1. Choo snapped a 5 at-bat strikeout streak with an RBI double last time up. Up in a similar situation here, runners at first and second, and nobody out in the Rangers' 7th. Ramos with the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. See that breaking ball from Ramos to a lot of left-handers. Will see that spinning pitch.
Go fish for it. He did a pretty good job of stranding inherited runners. He stranded 30 out of 35 that he saw inherited. That's a pretty good ratio.
1-2. And that really is, when you look at reliever statistics, to me that's one of the most important. How many of those guys do you allow score, and how many do you strand?
Yeah, because typically when a reliever comes in, they're coming in a sticky, hairy situation.
1-2 to Choo. Ramos a long look into Iannetta. Now the left-hander is ready. In the dirt, nice stop by Iannetta. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ranger fans will remember Cesar Ramos was worked in Tampa Bay the last 4 years.
Choo is so good at waiting until the last possible second before he decides if he's going to swing or not. It's just incredible at that, especially against left-handers like this.
Now the 2-2 pitch coming. Pulled down to first. The second for 1. The return to first base, not in time, as Crone was off the bag. C.J. Crone was there in plenty of time. Just never got his foot on the bag as he was receiving the throw from Eric Ibar. Mike Scioscia can't believe what he just saw. He is up out of the dugout waiting for information from the video folks to see whether there should be a challenge issued to that ruling.
I don't think there's going to be a challenge on this. He was off the bag. Maybe not.
I don't know.
It's pretty close.
I don't know.
Closer than what I thought.
Well, Choo running down the line said, hey, he was off the bag. And first base umpire Larry Vanover agreed with him. And Mike Scioscia is now going to issue the challenge. And okay, it's worth it on that play, considering the score of the game, and we're in the 7th inning.
Right, yeah, I think you've got to use that call and take a look at it. It was closer, a lot closer than what I thought it was. Typically when a first baseman has his foot on the bag, he's got it propped up at an angle, but I think CJ's foot was down flat. He may or may not have had the side of his foot up against the bag, so it was just a little bit of a different look. But we'll find out. Larry Vanover was right on top of it.
Yeah, and the key is, are we going to have an angle, or I should say, are the replay folks going to have an angle visible to where you're looking right down that first baseline from behind home plate, where you can see if there's any space between the foot and the bag. We can't see on any of the replays we have, but they've got a lot more angles that they're able to deal with than we have.
Yeah, the key phrase is, let's be clear and convincing evidence to the contrary of the call. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and again, the call on the field was safe. So to overturn that, like you said, Mac, it has to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn it. It doesn't have to be clear and convincing evidence to let the call stand. Here's one more look at it. See if you can see whether his foot's in contact with the bag. The ball beat him there. I don't think there's any question about that. But where is the foot when Crone received the throw from Ibar? And that's what Mike Scioscia wants to know.
He absolutely wants to know.
Where was that foot? Vanover, the crew chief, the headsets on, and he's listening very intently to the folks back in New York. In the replay command center, all of these umpires rotate through there as part of the regular rotation. They'll spend, I believe it's a week in New York, manning the replay command center. The four of them have the games divided up equally among them. And there's an idea now. If his foot's against the bag, that is an out. But
yeah, we can't really tell from that angle.
can you have clear and convincing evidence with that angle? I don't think so.
No, not with that angle.
You need a camera that's shooting right down the line, either from the outfield, which there isn't one here, or the high third area, shooting right down the line from home plate toward right field. And the ruling will be issued. Safe is the call. I would imagine that's a call stands decision. We'll find out in a minute. And Mike Scioscia not happy about it, and he's going out to the mound to make a pitching change. And the call does stand. So not clear and convincing evidence to overturn it. And the call stands as made. Safe is the call. We'll see how important that is as the inning unfolds. So Scioscia out, takes the ball from Ramos, and Mike Morin will be the new pitcher, the right-hander coming in. And as he does, we'll take another timeout. We're back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. With our roaming food connoisseur, that would be Jim Knox.
Buzz, we're at the Big Cheese, the concession stand here at Angel Stadium, one of the best in all of Major League Baseball because they specialize in grilled cheese, the cut bacon grilled cheese. Check this out, the short rib grilled cheese, the tomato and arugula grilled cheese, and the traditional grilled cheese. And you know what? We're in the giving spirit. We're going to give this nice Ranger fan a traditional grilled cheese. There you go. Anything you'd like to say, of course.
Go Rangers!
There you go. I like that. Buzz.
All right, Noxie, thank you. Noxie giving away food out there. I like that. Hope he doesn't. Now, you can't try to expense that out now, Noxie. Well, here's Mike Morin. Hard throwing right-hander with a great changeup. And the bunt is down. It's a safety squeeze. And Morin has only one play. In to score is Hamilton. Robinson Chirinos with the bunt. And the Rangers lead it 4-1. Well, Morin got off the mound pretty quickly. Looked like he might have had a play at the plate, but chose not to even bother to look.
Yeah, Robbie did a tremendous job just killing that baseball, deadening the bunt. Didn't let it go out there. If it had gotten out there a little bit farther, it might have been a play at the plate. But Morin just decided to go ahead and get the one out and not really chance it there. So great play by Chirinos getting that bunt down.
Oh, that run is on the ledger of Nick Tropiano. And now back to the top of the order with Delino DeShields. DeShields 1 for 3 tonight. A first inning double. Since then, he has flied out and struck out. He has Shin-Soo Choo at second. Rangers now 4 runs on 7 hits. Angels a run on 3 hits. 2 balls and no strikes. Mike Morin, who made his Major League debut last year with the Angels, ended up throwing in 60 ball games. Was 4-4 with a .290 earned run average. He's 24 years of age. Drive to right field. Calhoun chased toward the line and into the corner, makes the catch, and that'll do it. The Rangers add a very important run. They get a run on 2 hits and leave one. And we're going to take the stretch here in Anaheim. Rangers 4, Angels 1. Event, and your ticket includes a pregame buffet in the Hall of Fame, a merchandise goodie bag worth $75, a Q&A session with the Ranger wives, a back-to-school fashion show, a ticket to the game against the Astros, and a whole lot more. Visit TexasRangers.com/fashion to learn more and to get your tickets. Well, the Rangers have granted Colby an extra run. That scoring in the 7th inning. Colby back out there now with a 4-1 advantage with which to work. Eric Ibar with an 0-1 count. Ibar is 0 for 2 tonight. A ground out and a pop out. He pops another one up, but this one's going to drift just over the Angel dugout out of Adrian Beltre's reach. And the count moves to 0-2. Ibar, a ground ball to short in the 2nd, a pop out to Beltre in the 4th inning. Boy, Colby has been just nails tonight, especially in that 6th inning. Get the first 2 runners on, and he strikes out Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, and Albert Pujols in order. Ibar, a looper that's caught by Elvis, and went up on his tiptoes to make that grab on the run to his left. That is out number 1. And we'll go back to that 6th inning, maybe the turning point in the ballgame for the Rangers. Cole Calhoun was first, then Mike Trout caught looking, and finally Pujols for the 2nd time tonight, waving in a slider down and away from Colby Lewis. Colby now 8 punch-outs tonight against the Angels.
And breaking ball's been the pitch for him all night long. He's made some guys very, very uncomfortable with that pitch and had them off balance all night long. 3 big punch-outs in that last inning, right through the heart of that Angels order.
Throwing a fly ball to center field, drifting back a couple of steps. Delino's there. That's out number 2. And before Annetta comes up, let's send it back to Dana Larson. She has a Mazda game break for us. All right, Dana, thank you. Here the Rangers have a 3-run advantage over the Angels. Chris Iannetta has not put the ball in play against Colby Lewis tonight. He has struck out looking and struck out swinging. Iannetta at .203 typically not a big strikeout guy. Draws some walks. Takes strike 2 here. You know from Brian Hagan, our crack statistician, who lets us know that Colby has retired 11 batters tonight on 3 or fewer pitches. Colby among the league best at fewest pitches per inning.
You know, he's gotten better and better as the season's gone on, Buzz. Talk about his last couple of outings going 7 innings. No decision in one and the win in the other, that last outing.
Colby, just 15.3 pitches per inning this year, the whole year. That's in the top 15 in the league. Model of consistency. When he gets going, he is something to watch. He is a surgeon on a night like this, dicing and slicing. And he gets the strikeout. That is number 9 for Colby Lewis. A 1-2-3 inning. Angels gone in the 7th. We'll move on to the 8th inning. It's the Rangers 4, the Angels 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. This is all made possible by the good folks at T-Mobile. Don sends this one in. Don, we appreciate that. If you would like to join Don in getting your photograph considered for being shown on our airwaves, just use hashtag Southwest Data StrongFan. Your photo might be selected to be aired during one of our upcoming broadcasts. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
It's our number 1 fan, Don. They're just about every game, Rangers ballpark. Really, really good friend of Fox.
She ought to get credit on for the post-game show, I think.
She should.
Yeah.
She should. Starts and ends it.
Now a new hurler for the Angels as we go to the 8th inning. Jose Alvarez. Left-hander on now to take over. Alvarez, a 26-year-old from Barcelona, Venezuela. Came up with the Angels last year and has spent part of the 2013 season with Detroit. Alvarez will face Rougned Odor to start off. Strike 1. Alvarez, you might remember, in a starting role. He had 6 starts in 14 appearances with the Tigers back in 2013. And Odor pops it up. Foul territory, Crone through the coach's box. And makes the catch for out number 1. And before Prince Fielder steps in, let's check in again with Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, real quick, Buzz, because I'm on the road just this once over the weekend series, we're going to say the Ranger fan of the game. It's got to be the Shepherd family. They came all the way in from Bakersfield, California. You're Rangers fan because why?
Colby Lewis.
And how about the job Kobe's doing so far tonight?
Colby's pitching awesome tonight.
You know Kobe by?
His brother. I race cars with his brother, and I fan watching him. I watch every game he plays.
There we go. Well, good to see you. Good to meet you. I can give this little guy a Ranger cap. Good to have you out here, and good rooting for the Rangers here in Anaheim. Okay, appreciate it, Buzz.
All right, Nachi, thank you. Colby Lewis, of course, a big race fan, as we all know. Prince Fielder chops one out to Ibar at short. And very quickly, that'll be out number 2. Next will be Adrian Beltre. Progressive would like to catch you up now on the Rangers schedule. It's getting down toward the end of this road trip. Rangers here tomorrow night. It's an 8 o'clock game. And then on Sunday afternoon, before flying home, take on the Yankees, the Giants, and the Astros. A big 10-game homestand. Just in time for the weather to really heat up and become summer at home. Get those Yankees in there, and then the Giants and Astros. 10 great games at Globe Life Park. Alvarez pumps in strike 1 to Adrian Beltre.
Wait, it's not hot yet?
It is now. Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
At home. But, you know, it's almost August, so it's about time it gets hot.
Yeah, that's true. Turn it up a little bit.
Beltre lines one to left. On comes Robertson. He can't get it. He dove for it, but ended up trapping it. And Beltre has the 2-out single. Adrian with his first hit of the night.
Daniel Robertson coming in trying to make a spectacular play. Almost had it. Lays out. Got the little short hop. Thought about trying to fake it, trick the umpire there, but they do a little bit better acting job there.
Daniel started to lift that glove up, but he jammed his shoulder the other day and missed a game, ran into the wall. I think that shoulder wouldn't let him raise the glove up all the way, so he said, I can't do it.
That'll do it for you. Sometimes you get away with it, though.
Yeah.
You got to try it.
Yeah. The 1-on, 2-out, Mitch Moreland, 0 for 3 tonight, a couple of fly balls and a ground ball. Mitch at 283 with the average. Rangers now with 8 hits to go along with their 4 runs. And Moreland reaching for a breaking ball from Alvarez, fouls it away. It's 0-2. Rangers have played a very solid game here tonight. And, you know, when you get good pitching, I think you tend to look more solid than when the pitching is scuffling. But no doubt about it, tonight Colby Lewis has really given the Rangers everything they could want. It's Moreland gone on strikes. Alvarez gets out of the inning. A base hit and 1 left after 7.5. Colby Lewis and the Rangers leading the Angels 4-1. Would like to remind you we're right back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central Time. The Adrian Beltre and the Rangers taking on Mike Trout and the Angels in Game 2 of this series. Adrian, 359 average in his last 10. Mike Trout, a home run tonight and a 344 average this year against the Rangers. Todd Kubica leading off, and he drops down a beautiful bunt that he beats out for a base hit. Oh, the Angels needing base runners. Kyle Kubica dropping down a perfect bunt on the third baseline for the leadoff single. Kubica, for a big guy, can really motor.
Yeah, he's got some long legs. This is a perfect bunt, puts it in the perfect spot. Beltre's in at the grass, but well, actually he's over in the hole a little bit, so not much of a chance for him, not much of a chance for anybody. Just a perfect base hit bunt.
Well, 1 on, nobody out. Daniel Robertson now will step up. That for Kubica, by the way, his first base hit tonight. Robertson has an infield single, chopped one right off of home plate, leading off the 6th inning. And he takes a knee-high strike. It is 0-1. Larry DiSarcina, the third base coach, flashing the signs out to Robertson, and Kubica over there at first. 0-1 pitch from Colby. Backing up, Rougned Odor has a play and makes that grab for out number 1. That'll take the Angels back to the top of their order, and Johnny Giovotella. Double-barreled action out of the Ranger bullpen. Keone Kela, the left-hander, partially hidden. There he's coming back. Sam Freeman, of course, the left-hander. Colby at 96 pitches for the night. Rangers really keep a close eye on Colby. When he gets around 100 pitches, it seems to be his wall pretty much. Although tonight he's had very little stressful action. Giovotella takes outside for ball 1. Giovotella had an infield single in the 6th inning. He and Robertson singling to start things off, and that was when Colby really rose to the occasion. He had 3 successive strikeouts to get him out of the inning unscathed. Kyle Kubica at first base. The 1-0 pitch. High in the air to left field. That sends Hamilton back. Josh back at the track makes the catch. Kubica all the way down to second, has to return. For that long fly out. There are now 2 away with Cole Calhoun coming up.
Cole got in on Giovotella. That breaking ball. Giovotella gave it everything he had. Took Josh back to the wall. Then it looked like it might have had a chance to get out of here. Josh had a few feet left before he got to the wall.
That's that backup slider that didn't back up quite enough.
Not enough.
No. It's the one you're yelling at as a pitcher to come on back.
Yes.
Calhoun, a couple of strikeouts, 0 for 3 tonight. The other time up, flied out to left field. First ball swinging, he slices it out of play, deep down the left field. Well back into the seats. No balls and a strike. Colby Lewis getting ready to throw his 100th pitch of the night. And that's exactly the figure that he reached against the Astros his last time out in 7 1/3. He has now worked 7 2/3 here tonight. 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. I have a feeling this is going to be the last hitter that Colby faces tonight regardless. If he gets Calhoun to end the inning, great. And if he does not, and Trout's going to hit, it'll be against Keone Kela. Rangers in an overshift with Calhoun up there. 3 players on the right side of the diamond. And Colby pulling the string a bit, had Calhoun out in front. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, we'd like to see these guys get split up here. Cole Calhoun to end the inning here and start that 9th inning with Trout and Pujols and take your chances from there.
Now, earlier in the year, it was Calhoun leading off for the Angels. And he had Trout and Pujols hitting second and third. So you saw that combination quite a bit at the beginning of the ballgame.
Right. Well, they found a leadoff hitter with Gio Batella. He's been getting the job done, so they've been able to move everybody else down a notch. And that's obviously made them a better ball club, because once they did that, they really caught on fire.
Yeah.
And moved themselves into first place.
This was in the 6th inning, and Cole Calhoun swinging over that back foot slider from Colby Lewis. And Colby just keeps going to that. He's got a good one tonight. Season high 108 pitches back on June the 19th at Chicago, another of his favored places to pitch. Colby worked 8 full innings in that ball game. Got a 2-1 win. Here he is leading 4-1. 2 outs in the 8th. Colby trying to get to double figures in wins. He is moving up the ladder on the Ranger leadership. All time, 6th in strikeouts, 6th in starts, 8th in wins. You can add more to that here this evening. He is just one of 8 pitchers to have at least 4 different 10-win seasons. He's going for another one here tonight. A little looper to left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Kubica streaking around third with nobody covering it. And the Angels now with 2 outs have runners at the corners, and Mike Trout coming up. That is going to do it for Colby Lewis.
He's trying to go down and in with that. Same pitch he's been using all night, but hung out over the plate. Calhoun just dumped it into left field.
But Jeff Bannister out to the mound. Takes the ball from his veteran right-hander. That's going to do it. Colby's 7 2/3 great innings here tonight. He will depart. And hustling in from the bullpen in left field, Keone Keller. We'll tell you all about Keone after we take this short timeout on Fox Sports Southwest. Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Keone Keller, the 22-year-old right-hander, on now to face Mike Trout. And the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that hangs high and outside for ball 1. Keller making his 46th appearance of the year. 5-5 is his record. A .288 average. He's got Kubica at third. And across the diamond at first is Cole Calhoun with Mike Trout 1 for 2 tonight, standing at home plate. Trout hit his 29th home run of the year in the 4th inning off of Colby Lewis. Trout asking for timeout, and it is granted to him. Keone gets the sign he wants. The 1-1 pitch coming. Got him on the fist inside with a breaking ball, and Trout fouled it off the other way. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I don't think that one ever broke.
Keone Kela now taking the leadership in the American League with his 46th appearance. And to rack up another hold. 1-2 to Trout. 2-2. Kela against Trout. This is the first matchup that he's had against the All-Star MVP. 2-2 pitch. Just missed the outside corner. And the count now is full. The Trout running the string all the way out. Keone Kela pumping the last one in at 99 miles an hour. And didn't miss by much. Jeff Bannister, tough time for the skipper right about now. He's done what he can. Payoff pitch on the way. Line to left field, a base hit. Kubica scores. Stopping at second is Calhoun. Trout with the RBI single. That makes it a 4-2 Ranger lead. And it's going to bring up Albert Pujols. Went with a 3-2 breaking ball that stayed up in the strike zone enough that Trout was able to line it softly to left field.
It's a good piece of hitting by Trout. Just saw a 99-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside part of the plate. Got a hanging breaking ball, was able to hang in there. Dunk it into left field.
Well, Mike Maddox out to the mound. Give Keone a chance to catch his breath and kind of fire up the infield. Keone can do that all by himself.
Yes,
very energetic young man out there. He gets going.
Yes, he can. I think that's part of the reason Maddox went out there, to just calm him down and not, let the moment catch him. Just slow everything back down, focus and concentrate. We've got a big hitter coming up. Big situation right here. Focus and go and get this one out.
Well, Albert Pujols has faced Kela a couple of times. He is 1 for 2 with a single. Hitting now here in the 8th inning with a tying run at first base. Cole Calhoun at second, Mike Trout at first. Very good speed on the base pass. And Albert Pujols statistically not having a great year in these situations. Just 17 for 78 with runners in scoring position. That's a .218 average. But it still is Albert Pujols. Power changeup? That was? That's what Pujols is asking.
He's wondering exactly what that was.
What was that thing?
I'll have to ask Key afterwards. I think that's the only way we're going to find out.
Albert, couple of strikeouts tonight and a ground out. 0 for 3. Laid off the breaking ball. 1-1. Keone coming into a game like this, he has been pretty good in not allowing runners to score that he's inherited. Not counting tonight, he has allowed just 2 of 16 runners that have been on base when he has entered the ballgame to score. The 1-1 to Pujols. Now 1-2. Pujols, 61 RBI. Trout just drove in his 58th of the year. They are 1-2 on the Angels club. Keone agrees with Chirinos. Low and inside, 2-2. Outfield plays Pujols deep and around to the left. The infield about 3 steps to the left. And that Rougned Odor shading almost directly up the middle. Beltre deep behind the bag at third. The 2-2 offering coming. Call, strike 3. Pujols caught looking. He barks back at the home plate umpire, Brian McKnight, but he is gone, and so are the Angels. They score once on 3 hits, but leave 2 as Keone Kela shuts the door on him. We'll go to the 9th. 4-2 Rangers. Albert Pujols to send the veteran slugger back to the bench. And here was that last pitch.
See Chirinos setting up down and away. Kela hits that spot, hits that target. Chirinos holds it, gets the call. That's a close one. Fox tracker has it touching. Calls it a strike. Pujols didn't agree, though.
Yeah, I think you can understand why Albert would not think that was a strike. Keone Kela is very confident it was a strike. Josh Hamilton starting off here in the 9th inning. Hamilton has gone 2 for 3 in his return to Anaheim. He has singled, doubled, and scored twice. Hitting now at .253. Jose Alvarez. Guessing to swing through a breaking ball, 0-2. Alvarez gave up a single in the 8th inning. That was all the damage the Rangers could do, working here in the 9th inning. Rangers on top, 4-2. Fouled off the end of the bat. Hamilton stays alive. 0-2. Now the Rangers coming into play tonight after winning the last 2 in Colorado in pretty impressive fashion. Hamilton, a little limp line drive that Giovatello handles for out number 1. And before Elvis comes up, we're going to send it back to the studio. Dana Larson will tell you all about what's coming up on Rangers Live. All right, Dana, thank you. Elvis Andrus backing out of the way of that Alvarez offering, but it's in for a strike. Elvis also is 2 for 3 tonight, a pair of singles. He has scored a run. Hot shot that Crone picks on the short hop. 2 gone. That's the hardest ball Elvis has hit in a couple of days, a couple of games.
And it's an out.
Yeah. No, bases empty, 2 away for Shin-Soo Choo. Choo 1 for 3. That was an RBI double in the 5th inning. And Sean Tollison getting ready for what will be his 17th save opportunity of the year if the score remains as is. Choo, along with the double, has reached center fielder's choice and struck out tonight. Alvarez sets and leaves the breaking ball inside. It's 1-1. Rangers scored 3 in the 5th as they answered the Angel run in the bottom of the 4th. That run came on Mike Trout's home run off Colby Lewis. Rangers came right back, put 3 on the board, put 1 more up there in the 7th inning as Colby shut the door on the Angels until the 8th and allowed just 1 run as he left the ball game in favor of Keone Keller. So 4-2 Rangers, 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Choo at 235. RBI total now up to 44 for the year. And a little topper foul. Choo staying tough at the plate against a tough left-hander.
You know, Choo, when he gets the 2 strikes, he goes into that 2-strike approach, that 2-strike stance, spreads out a little bit, goes down a little bit lower in his stance, just to make sure they can try and get some wood on the ball and put the ball in play.
Alvarez back to him, got him swinging. Went upstairs with the heat. Choo didn't have a step ladder quite tall enough. A 1-2-3 inning, Rangers gone in the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It's Sean Tollison time with the Rangers leading 4-2. Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. by AT&T UVerse TV. UVerse has more live TV channels on the go than cable. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer to kick off the summer right. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, Sean Tollison on to try and close out this Ranger victory. Tollison, 15 out of 16 this year in save situations. And this will be his 17th opportunity, taking over for Keone Kella, who worked a third of an inning. Last time we shot on Tollison getting his 15th save of the year. That was on Wednesday in Colorado. Eric Ibar to lead things off. Rangers leading by a pair, and Ibar takes strike one. Now a new center fielder for the Rangers, Leonis Martin, has entered the ball game to take over for Delino DeShields in center field. Ibar tonight, 0 for 3, is grounded out, popped out, and lined out. Down at his shoe tops. Ibar belatedly was trying to convince Brian Knight, the home plate umpire, the ball hit him, but I think the lag time in suggesting that it hit him was a little too big.
A little too big and not enough acting there. He just pointed. You got to, fall over. Hey, that hurt. Ouch. Something.
1 ball, 1 strike from Tollison. Hit well to center field. Martin going back, still going back, and has room now that he turns around and makes the catch before he steps onto the warning track. Ibar gave it a ride, but that's big man's territory out there. 1 gone.
That's it takes a little bigger of a guy to hit that ball out of here, especially at night here in Anaheim. Martin on his horse, plenty of room back there.
Very important out number 1. With that 2-run lead, C.J. Cron now will come in. Cron, a couple of fly balls to center, a little tapper out in front of the mound. 1 ball, no strikes. Sean Tollison, scoreless in his last 2 outings. Both of them in Colorado. Gave up no hits in either one of them. Drops in the breaking ball. That evens the count at 1-1. Only blown save Sean Tollison has had all year. Came on the 11th of the month, right before the All-Star break against San Diego. Sean Tollison gave up that 2-run home run to Yangervis Solarte in the 9th inning at home. Other than that, he has been dead perfect since taking over as a closer in mid-May. 1-2 pitch coming. Didn't miss by much. 2-2.
With the success and the consistency that Tollison's had, it's kind of surprising this is his first opportunity to close ball games.
Yeah. Sometimes we forget he's just 26. And there's a sharp 2-hopper, but right at Odor. That's out number 2. And the Dodgers, when he was with them, they really didn't need a closer at that time. The Rangers are happy that he didn't.
Yeah, sometimes all it takes is the opportunity.
Yeah.
We've seen that with DeShields as well.
He went, 123 appearances without a save opportunity, and all of a sudden now he's gotten 15 out of 16 and going for 1 more. And he has 2 outs at the bottom of the order. Chris Iannetta, who is 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs tonight, will face Sean Tollison. Iannetta currently hitting at .202, and he takes strike 1. Again, Tollison able to keep the first 2 hitters off base, and that prevents the tying run from coming to the plate here in the 9th inning. One and 1 to Iannetta. Two and 1. Sean, by his own admission, not as quite as sharp in the 2 games of Colorado. Didn't really like pitching, I don't think, in the rarefied air of Coors Field.
I don't think anybody does.
No, I wouldn't think so. pop foul. That's back into the seats, and now Tollison just one strike away from closing out what would be the Rangers' 46th win of the year. The Angels have been giving the Rangers a tough time. Rangers haven't won against the Angels since they were out here in April. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Call strike 3. Great way to end it for Sean Tollison. A 1-2-3 inning with a punch out. The Rangers defeat the Angels tonight. 4-2 is the final, and Sean Tollison racks up his 16th save of the year in 17 opportunities. And that was great work by Tollison to get a fly ball, a ground ball, and a called third strike as Chris Iannetta got the golden sombrero tonight, striking out all 4 times that he came to the plate. So the Angels are now in a dead heat with the Houston Astros atop the American League Western Division. Rangers pick up a game on the Angels and the Astros. They're trailing now by 7.5 games